Hey, I'm Eric, a fabricator and PC designer with over a decade of experience in the craft, and I'm here to show you my newest machine, the 5085 press brake. This machine costs as much as a small home and is touted as the most successful bending machine worldwide. But is that really the case? Well, let's find out. If you're not sure what a press brake is, don't feel bad. It is often a very overlooked yet important machine in manufacturing. Press brakes bend metal into desired shapes using punches and dies. They are often CNC controlled and have specific capacities such as tonnage and bed width. While newer machines can be entirely electric, most press brakes are at least partially hydraulic, and older variations can also be entirely mechanical. Press brakes allow for the bending or stretching of metal and play an important role in our shop's workflow. Bending metal is often preferred over welding as it retains the material's structural integrity and is both faster and more cost effective. I like utilizing press brake forming as it allows for a variety of highly accurate, strong, and aesthetic features to be added to almost any workpiece. The Trumpf 5085 is a feature-rich 85-ton press brake with a bed length of around 8 feet. While it is not a flagship machine, it boasts a number of add-on features, quality construction, and responsive service and support. The machine manufacturer, Trumpf Group, is one of the largest privately owned companies in Germany, with products in a number of different manufacturing sectors. It depends on your area, but many machinery companies choose to sell their products through distributors rather than doing it directly. In our case, we purchased our machine through Devon at Middle Atlantic Machinery. Overall, we found the process straightforward, and to be honest, this is how a purchase of this size should feel. Everything should be efficiently and precisely communicated, and the feature set of the machine should be completely understood before moving forward with the purchase. During this part of the sales process, we chose to add a bend aid to the machine, but declined some of the other product enhancements like ACB bend lasers and CNC I-axis shifting, amongst others. While it took close to 6 months, our machine was delivered over the course of a morning by Pedowitz Machinery Movers, a terrific company of riggers who specialize in moving large machines like this. It's absolutely fascinating and impressive to see how these guys move these machines so effortlessly and confidently. While they have some of the coolest and largest forklifts I've ever seen, their ability to work together is even more impressive. Our install process went smoothly, which, while expected, is not always the norm. Chris from Middle Atlantic Machinery was our Trumpf certified installer and was here for around 4 days. Everything about the installation was covered in our purchase price, which is a standard for Trumpf, but not for all machinery manufacturers. The install or commissioning for machines like this is a relatively simple process, as most of the machine setup is done at the factory. The technician levels the machine, removes shipping brackets, checks for pre-installation damage. After that, there is some initial tuning and tests to ensure everything is working properly. So no one buys a press brake because it looks cool, but it also never really hurts. Trumpf brakes lean into a distinctive modern design that feels unmistakably German. While I really like the machine's design identity of hard corners and bold surfaces, I am less in love with the machine's outer finish. While white and blue are Trumpf's corporate colors and do look really good when the machine is new, it's important not to forget that these machines are intended for high-volume production environments. White surfaces are a magnet for dirty hands and dust accumulation. I understand that Trumpf wants to rep their colors on their machine, but these colors just feel a little disconnected to the reality of the modern shop. This is in stark contrast to the LED tooling indicator on the front of the punch rail. This LED light is a really cool tool for setting up programs, as it shows you exactly where your punches and dies have to go. I really, really like this feature, and it feels like it was designed by someone with actual experience working on a press brake. Most press brakes utilize something called a C-frame design, or 2 thick C-shaped metal bodies which form the sides of the machine. In between these 2 C's are the ram, die rail, back gauge, and everything else essential to making the machine work. In this aspect, I don't think this machine is all that special, and it seems like this formula is used by most machine designers. Trumpf does boast that this machine was fabricated using techniques such as robotic laser welding with accompanying 3D scans of the weld areas. But in 2024, I'm not sure how cutting edge this really is. Regardless, the results do speak for themselves. The machine does come across as well made, with beautiful welds, well-painted surfaces, and no visible weld spatter or machine marks. The Trumpf 5000 series brakes all use Trumpf or wheel and use standard tooling and come standard with hydraulic clamping and pneumatic I-axis shifting. While our 5085 can use punches up to around 240 millimeters with a standard 60 millimeter tall bottom tooling, it is possible to purchase the same machine with an increased ram opening, but this also increases the total machine height. Trumpf tooling is generally well regarded, and while I have never used it, I have been told that their wireless ACB tooling, which measures and checks the part bend angle, works very well. The brake uses a hybrid hydraulic and electro servo system for the movement of the ram that provides a very fast and responsive bending experience. Aiding this is Trumpf's patented dual cylinder design, where Y1 and Y2 are the left and right sides of the ram, have not one but two hydraulic cylinders for each axis. According to Trumpf, this creates a more even force distribution and reduces the deflection of the material when forming. Deflection is the bane of any operator's existence, and Trumpf seems to address this common issue well. Deflect occurs through the slight bending or flexing of the machine ram when force is applied. This is commonly seen in the middle of a long piece, where the edges of the material closest to the hydraulic cylinders is more bent or closed, while the middle is more open. There are a number of different ways machine designers attempt to solve this problem, through wedges, shims, or in Trumpf's case, a CNC crowning motor. This crowning motor adjusts two wedge-shaped plates which can raise or lower the die bed. This, along with their dual hydraulic cylinders, creates some pretty accurate and highly repeatable bending setups, allowing you to go from short bends to long bends really easily. Going around to the back of the machine, we have a cool but slightly unnecessary electric garage door. Opening that up reveals the 6-axis back gauge along with access to the back of the ram. The back gauge of this machine uses a slanted rack and pinion system for its X and R movements, while relying on servo motors and linear rails for the Z movement. This creates a very fast and accurate back gauging system that feels really solid when compared to competitors' ball and screw systems. Having spent time on a lot of generationally similar machines, I don't think there's a lot to be critical of in regards to the basic functions of this press brake. Overall, it's a solid, fast machine that does seem to hold its stated angular tolerance of plus or minus 0.3 degrees. The manufacturer claims to have a back gauge tolerance of 0.00008, which I am somewhat skeptical of, but it doesn't really matter, as being just plus or minus 0.001 is well within the tolerance of any sheet metal manufacturer I can think of. This machine does wrap it down fairly quickly because of the hybrid servo electric and hydraulic cylinders, but its bend speed is about as fast as any regular brake. The light curtains in this most recent machine are impressive. Being completely motorized, they have turned what once was a frustrating part of the machine setup into something frictionless. Their entire operation is controlled from the TruePoint touch control and seem to only need a few seconds to find the tool center. TrueBend touchpoint control is the branded name of the user interface, which already should say something about the emphasis put into this feature. In all honesty, it actually works pretty well. Entering the control interface can be done with either a password or included RFID chip. Loading pre-made programs is simple, and creating manual bends is also very straightforward. Most, if not all, of the standard interface commands can be done with only one hand, and there are some very basic multi-touch controls as well. More complex programs can be made at the brake, but there is a clear and not so subtle emphasis put into offline programming for this machine. In addition to the control panel, there is also what Trumpf calls a mobile control unit. Basically, it is a small 10-button interface that can be positioned anywhere along the punch rail. The foot pedal assembly works fine with an up and down pedal as well as an e-stop on the assembly handle. The pedal's minimalistic style does keep in line with the machine's aesthetics, but I also don't mind this design choice from a repairability standpoint. The bend aid on our machine is a terrific add-on, that I would recommend to most fabricators. Having a support that can follow a bend up to 35 degrees is incredibly helpful when bending larger or heavier components. The bend aid will adjust to the die height automatically, and my only complaint is that it defaults to being too fast when enabling it in software. There is a lot that this machine can do out of the box, and there is even more it can do if you want to spend double or triple the initial amount. There are bending robots, automatic tool changing, laser or optical bending gauges, wireless foot pedals, added monitors, servo-controlled eye-axis, a magic shoe that replaces a traditional foot pedal. The list goes on. And I think that's okay. I like that Trumpf offers so many diverse options for their machines without mostly degrading the standard user experience. CNC machines are complex. There are layers of interconnected systems that all must work together that often complicate the diagnosis of simple problems. In our case, I have had a number of major and minor issues which have complicated my feelings about this machine. First was our ram sagging on one of the hydraulic axes. The second was an error in the proportional valves. Then there was the OS crashing the very first day of use. And finally, intermittent wiring issue with one of the bend guard safety lasers, which has caused the machine to be down for multiple days. To be fair to Trumpf and all other machinery manufacturers, new machine problems are not a super surprising thing. Almost every machine I have ever owned has had some kind of break-in period with small issues and problems. That being said, at this machine price point, I didn't expect the issues I had to come up so quickly or be so serious. Trumpf was incredibly fast in responding to my issues. In a matter of a couple hours, I had an open case with 2 techs reaching out regarding the issues. Overall, I have to say, while I don't think my experience is the norm, there have been significantly more issues than expected. While Trumpf's terrific service and machine warranty have saved me from any costly bills, they haven't saved me from time lost by the machine being down. I really want to like this machine. It is full of cool features on top of a minimalistic design principle that provides the exact amount of complexity it needs in order to get the job done. I love the aesthetics, the performance, the integrated service apps, and sales experience. I do think they could do a better job providing more cost-effective solutions for easily damaged items like the LED punch rail or the touch point bend panel interface. As well, I don't love the microcharging that the company has begun to do with everything from features to service, but I unfortunately think that's more common than not. Who would I recommend this machine to? Well, definitely someone who has already invested in the Trumpf ecosystem, or at least interested in doing so. Offline bending is almost a requirement for the machine, and there is a significant design intent towards integration with the Trumpf Smart Factory ethos. While the machine and features come at a premium, they do tend to work better than cheaper alternatives, and the company has a track record of high performance and well-made machines. While I have had some strange and frustrating experiences during the first few months of ownership, I don't think that that is the norm. We will have to see how Trumpf handles the issues moving forward, but I am hopeful that they will address and fix the problems. Did you like this video? Do you want to see other machine reviews and recommendations? Well, let me know down in the comments, and please like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching.